Let's be honest. Have you ever run a group program that just didn't feel quite right? Maybe you poured your heart into it, designed an amazing curriculum, and gathered a group of brilliant, eager clients. But something felt off. Instead of a dynamic, thriving space, there was tension. Maybe some of your clients hesitated to participate, second guessed themselves, or seemed overwhelmed. Instead of feeling expansive, the energy in the group felt basically stifled. Here's the truth that no one talks about. Group programs can unintentionally push clients away, not because your content is invaluable, but because of how they experience it. And if we don't pause to notice where they're struggling, where they feel confused, anxious, or unsure, we actually miss an opportunity to create a space that feels truly safe, empowering, and of course, transformative. So, in today's episode, we're diving into the sneaky ways group programs can create pressure instead of transformation, why your clients may be feeling stuck or even resistant, and most importantly, how to shift your program into something that feels expansive, easeful, and deeply impactful for both you and your clients. I'll also share the behind the scenes of a powerful shift I recently made in my own coaching school to address this exact challenge. So let's get into it. Welcome to Sacred Strategy, the business and energy podcast where bold strategies meet the magic of energy and intuition. I'm Sora Schilling, sacred spaceholder, business alchemist, and creator of the Devoted Archetypes, Sovereign Selling, and the Devoted Energy Coaching Model. For over a decade, I've guided thousands of coaches and spaceholders to build thriving, soul-aligned businesses that create impact and life-changing money. Let's cut through the noise of traditional strategies and uncover your unique medicine. Use the devoted archetypes to become a transformational spaceholder and learn to sovereignly sell with integrity. This podcast is your invitation to step into your magic and create a blissfully abundant business and life filled with curiosity, awe, and wonder. Let's dive in. Oh, it's so good to be back on the podcast today. How is your heart? I know for myself, now being a mama of a fur baby, that much of my focus is actually on tending to her. And to be honest, having this additional member in our family has been such a delight because it also brings perspective when it comes to how it is that I can ensure that I'm holding space for this puppy. Quite often, she's learning so many new things, and I have these expectations around what she knows or doesn't know. And we have to be very gentle with her and consistent in order for her to learn the things that she needs to learn in order for her to maneuver this world in a safe way. And so I know for each and every one of you that you are holding space for your family, for your loved ones, and also for those inside of your community, whether they're one-on-one group programs, masterminds, or retreats. And so I'm here today to speak about why your group program might be pushing your clients away rather than them coming and deepening into the experience. One of the biggest mistakes I see coaches and space holders make with group programs is assuming that if people sign up, they'll automatically be ready to receive the transformation. But here's the thing, just because someone is in the room doesn't mean they fully feel seen, prepared, or safe for the journey that lies ahead. I started noticing this in my own work. In my devoted energy coaching school, I could see that students were coming in so eager and devoted, but something strange was happening as we entered the deeper teachings of energy coaching. Instead of feeling excited, they were feeling so stressed, anxious, like they had to, quote, get it right or prove something. And if they didn't get immediate validation that they were doing it correctly, they'd freeze up. Now, I know energy coaching should be playful, exploratory, and it's deeply groundbreaking. And so my heart broke knowing that they weren't feeling that way at all. And that's when it hit me. It wasn't about them not being ready. It was about how they were experiencing the start of the program. They were being thrown into the deep end before they had the chance to play in the shallows. They weren't given enough space to ease in, shake off perfectionism, and trust themselves. And this isn't just something I've seen in my own work. I would love to take a moment and ask you the following questions. There are three. Have you ever noticed clients in your group program holding back, second guessing, or hesitating to participate? Second question, do some of your clients seem overwhelmed instead of inspired when engaging with your content? And this could be in your courses or in your group programs. And lastly, are people craving step by step instructions instead of trusting themselves to explore the work? Now, there's nothing wrong with that. It's simply getting to understand your people and recognizing maybe there is a missing piece. So, if you're nodding along right now, you're not alone. This happens because most programs aren't designed with the emotional and energetic journey in mind. And this is why I truly believe iteration of your offerings is key. The best programs do not stay static, they evolve. So let's talk about what I did to shift my own energy coaching school and how you can start refining your programs so they feel expansive and empowering and not stifling and overwhelming. So once I realized that my students in devoted energy coaching school were feeling pressured instead of feeling possibility, I knew something had to change. The last thing I wanted was for them to feel like they were being graded on their ability to do energy coaching, quote, correctly. I believe energy coaching should be deeply personal, exploratory, incredibly fun, freeing, and not rigid or stressful. And so what I did was I listened and I created something completely new to add into Devoted Energy Coaching School's curriculum. And I call it the DEX Intensive. It was a 5-day experience. Now, instead of jumping straight into the deeper work, what I did was designed an immersive, playful week-long experience that allowed my students to shed their perfectionism, shake off the pressure to perform, and reconnect with their own intuitive wisdom before we got into the core teachings. Inside of DEX Intensive, students were invited to explore their gifts in unconventional ways. We used imagination, storytelling, and creative exercises that reminded them that this isn't about getting it right. It's about discovering what's possible. And here's what I didn't expect. This experience was as transformative for my apprentices as it had been for my new students. So, three of my devoted energy coaching school graduates returned as apprentices during this intensive, and they were blown away by what they discovered. Even though they had already gone through the core curriculum, this new way of engaging with the tools opened up entirely new layers for them. They recommitted to their coaching work in a much more deeper way. And they were open to open themselves up to a deeper understanding of energy coaching as well. So, my invitation for you today is the following. Take a moment and look at your own group program. Where could you add more ease, more play, more reflection, and also more celebration? Where might your clients be feeling stuck or overwhelmed when you take a look at your core curriculum? And most importantly, how can you bring in more magic so that they don't pause, go into paralysis, or ghost you inside of the program? Now that we've explored why some group programs unintentionally create pressure instead of transformation, let's talk about how we shift them into experiences that feel truly expansive, easeful, and deeply impactful. This is where the experiential learning framework comes in. So, under this framework, there are 4 pillars for transformational group spaces. They are the following: one, circle energy, move from teacher to space holder. 2, reflection, celebrate their essence and wisdom. 3, creative practices, infuse play, expression, and rituals. And 4, immersion, create a journey, not just a curriculum. At its core, this framework is about designing spaces where your clients don't just consume information, they embody it. It's about creating a dynamic, immersive journey that supports them in ways they didn't even realize they needed. So, what makes a group program truly transformational? So, for me, I feel as if it comes down to those four core pillars. So, let me go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into them. So the first one was circle energy, move from teacher to space holder. The first shift is about how you hold space. In traditional group programs, there's often an implied hierarchy. You are the teacher. They are the students. You are the coach. They are the client. But true transformation happens in circle energy, where every voice matters and the learning flows in multiple directions. Instead of feeling like they need to, quote, get it right or impress you or have their shit together, clients in a space rooted in circle energy feel safe to explore, ask questions, be in the mess, and even challenge perspectives that could be yours too. This creates a dynamic where they become active participants rather than passive ones. So here's how to implement this. You could shift your role and your identity from teacher to facilitator or guide. Just by feeling into that, you'll notice that there's a slightly different energetic imprint. Invite discussion based learning instead of relying solely on lectures. This is about others beginning to articulate and notice what they come up with, what their ideas are. How are they landing and integrating the information that's coming through? How are they questioning it? Because they should not only say yes to what you have to say, but come from a discovery based place. You may also use prompts that encourage your clients to share their wisdom and insights with the group. And also normalize uncertainty and exploration. Remind them that growth happens in the questions, not the answers, and that you yourself personally don't have all the answers. You're not perfect. And so normalize that and uncertainty and exploration that you're having in your own life as well. Okay, the second pillar, reflection. Celebrate their essence and wisdom. The second pillar is reflection. When clients don't feel seen or acknowledged for who they are, they're more likely to freeze, disengage, or doubt themselves. Reflection practices ensure that every client feels deeply recognized and celebrated. This is where you reflect back to them what you are sensing, how much you are in awe of them, and you're sharing these reverent messages that are coming through that lets every single person that you are holding space for feel deeply seen. A major reason people hold back in group spaces is because they aren't receiving enough mirroring. Those moments where they hear, I see you. I see your brilliance. I feel you. Thank you much. Thank you so much for sharing that. I deeply felt that share. This isn't about validation. It's about helping them witness their own growth, their own magic, their own deep soul's essence in real time. So, how do you implement this? Incorporate reflection rituals like journaling, verbal acknowledgement, or partner shares. Also, create moments of celebration. Call out their wins, their lessons, their shifts, their breakthroughs. Ask empowering questions as well that invite them to see their own progress. And so you might ask them, each person, please share what's one insight that surprised you this week. And also use feedback circles where they can share what they're learning about themselves and what they're learning from each other. And so that they get an opportunity to do the celebrations and the reflections for one another as well. Third pillar, creative practices, infuse play, expression, and rituals. The third pillar is about creative practices. This is where we move beyond intellectual understanding and talking at someone to embodied learning, honoring that there are needs for diverse learners. Most group programs are heavy on information, teaching, modalities, worksheets, quizzes, but we forget that transformation happens through experience, not through memorization. That's why bringing in play, expression, and ritual makes such a huge difference. When clients engage with the material in a non-linear, non-factual, logical way, but rather in a creative, immersive, full-bodied way, they internalize it on a much more deeper level. So the way to implement these could include use storytelling, role playing, or visualizations or energy exercises and practices. Go ahead and freely incorporate movement based practices like breathwork, dance, or somatic exercises. Encourage creative expression. That could be painting, poetry, voice work, having really good communal playlists that everyone can add on to and relate it to your program's theme. And also design simple rituals that help anchor key concepts because when we enter into the magic, we are always delighted. And when we are delighted, we are open to new possibilities because we are in a space of awe and wonder. Okay, the last pillar, immersion, create a journey, not just a curriculum. So, this final pillar is called immersion because too many programs are structured like a step by step curriculum, but true transformation happens through a thoughtfully designed journey. Your clients need to feel the work, not just learn about it through their brilliant mind. Instead of thinking of your program as content delivery, think of it as an unfolding experience. Where do they start? What do they need before diving into the deep end? How can you create moments of expansion, integration, pause, reflection, and celebration along the way? I find that a lot of my clients are always talking about how they move their clients into the deep end, that they want to do the deep work with people. But the only issue here is, are you setting everyone up for success so that they are anchoring into a regulated nervous system in order to be able to say yes to that deep work? So here's how to implement this. Go ahead and structure your program in phases. Ease in, exploration, go into the deep, then integrate, then pause, ease in again, have some fun. Let there be a natural rhythm. Also, use immersive experiences like mini retreats or intensives or themed weeks so that everyone gets to have a little shift in energy and a recommitment throughout their time with you in a group program. I also invite you to go ahead and give space for pause and integration as well as rest instead of constantly introducing new content. So, for example, inside of Devoted Energy Coaching School, there are these moments where they're learning something new. And then there's moments for pause, integration, and practice. And that gives them a really great rhythm to be able to never feel like they are behind. With my business coaching clients inside of Lush, I provide them with these trainings. But then in between that, it is time for them to pause, integrate, put things into action, and receive very bespoke, intimate support by me so that I can guide them based on their specific needs, their questions, and their business. Also, encourage clients to experience the work outside of the calls through real life application, personal practice, live their life and notice the through line and the connections that are being made, as well as reflective exercises. So when you weave these four pillars together, circle energy, reflection, creative practices, and immersion, you create an environment where clients don't just learn, they transform. So, my invitation for you is this: look at your own group program and ask yourself, where can you bring in more of these elements? Where can you shift from information to experience? Where can you create more safety, celebration, and depth? I do ask you to take a look and reflect back on the program and notice, when did people drop off? Where exactly were they? What did you not do? What were their pain points? What were the things that they were struggling with? So that we, as the space holders, can take sovereign responsibility and notice what we can do to make the program better. This is why iterating over and over again will make your programs highly successful because you are listening and you are improving and you are open to that feedback, whether they're giving it to you specifically or because you are taking note. And if you want a tangible resource to help you integrate these principles, I have a special gift for you. So go ahead and DM me on Instagram. My handle is at Devoted Way, and I'll send you a copy of the Experiential Learning Framework, breaking down each of these 4 pillars with practical exercises that you can implement right away. Remember, your program is more than just a curriculum. It's a living, breathing space for transformation. And also, if you're loving Sacred Strategy, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. Your words help this podcast reach more sacred space holders just like you who are ready to create truly transformational group experiences, make impact, and life changing money. So, until next time, remember your work is sacred, your space is powerful, and when you lead with intention, your programs become a catalyst for something far greater than you could ever imagine. All right. If you loved this episode, here's your next step. Join me inside Sacred Business Circle. Seriously, this is the most magical, no BS business support you'll ever get at a very low cost. And right now, I'm calling in my first 1,000 founding members to lock in exclusive bonuses before they disappear. If you've ever wanted to be in my world and get real aligned business guidance, this is it. So go ahead and click the link in the show notes and I will see you inside. Remember, I hope that you recognize that Sacred Business Circle is something that you might need. It's not a business course that collects dust. This is where I give you bite-sized, powerful, and actionable business guidance that is given to you every single week. All right, I'll see you inside.